Your intestines are one of the most important tools in your immune system. Now listen to this. Are your gut bacteria strong enough to help you continue to shovel the snow, get the work done, take care of the errands? Well, I'm going to show you today exactly what you need to do to get a strong gut microbiome. Water kefir shots. Do you know what this is? This is one of the two powerhouses you need. You had no idea that you needed it for your gut health. Today, we're going to talk about those secrets, okay? So I have put together a presentation for you that I'm going to go over, and then I'm actually going to do a live version of putting together these two powerhouses for you so you can see why you need them in your gut. These are huge. So in order for you to understand this, you must go through this entire video, or you are going to miss out on how to use it, what to use, when to use it, and then you are going to achieve the results that you had hoped to achieve by combining all of the videos that I have done in January with what I'm teaching today, and then the final videos in January. So what I'm going to do is set this down, because I'm not going to hold this while I'm trying to teach. I'll probably put some pictures on the screen or something like that. There you go, look. So here we go. So this video is about those two secrets, and you probably saw them on the screen. And they are milk kefir and water kefir. Have you ever heard of them? Some people call it kefir. When they go into the store, they see the store-bought version of it. And you're going to learn there's a major difference in the store-bought version versus what I'm showing you here. Okay? Here's the milk trying to squeeze in here. There we go. So, first thing is, the last few videos in the series, I taught you about how to reset your mind, how to reset your body, how to reset your clothes, how to get detoxing, and now we are going to set the gut up for success. You need this, you need this, you need this. After 5 decades of life, I'm seeing this literally take care of many things in my body. So let's get into this. First, before you make any changes to your health routine, as I always say, I am my own doctor. So you need to check with your doctor. This is just what we do, and you have to decide what parts of this work for you. Okay, my risk is my risk, your risk is your risk. So let's get into this. Water kefir and milk kefir. These are two powerhouses that can change your microbiome, your gut microbiome for the better. There are so many health benefits to this, and I'm going to go over all of them. These are what you would call lacto-fermented items, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and go over this presentation. But first, let me tell you how I'm going to do this. So first, I'm going to teach you about milk kefir and water kefir. People call it kefir, but it's technically kefir. I'm going to explain to you what they do and how they work. I'm going to share what you can and cannot use them with. And then I'm going to share the health benefits of each. And after all of that, then I will show you a live demonstration of how to create each one, how we do it here. Okay? So let's begin. Kefir is a living food and good friendly probiotic. Okay? Your intestines are one of the most important tools in your immune system. So if you give the gut and the intestines what they need, you can help your body in so many ways. Milk kefir has 300 to 500 billion CFUs of good probiotics. That is a lot in itself. As compared to store-bought, now listen to this, store-bought only has an average of 10 to 30 billion CFUs of good probiotics. Do you see that? And then that's with the cheaper brands, but then more expensive brands can go from 50 to 100 CFUs. But milk kefir has 300 to 500 billion CFUs. And you're making this at home. That's crazy. Many people who are lactose intolerant can eat kefir because the good bacteria process and digest most of the lactose out of it. And it breaks down the casein. So this opens the door for many people to enjoy it. Like I have a family member who wanted to try this and they said, no, I can't do that because I can't drink milk. And I said, no, I said, you're lacking the bacteria to break down the lactose. That's why you have an issue with your lactose tolerant. But this will break it down before you even drink it. So she got on it and now she can't live without it. So when people are looking for probiotics, many go to the over-the-counter sources, but doing that is like throwing a pebble into the ocean and expecting it to have an impact. They are so minimal on the impact in your body, it's unbelievable. All of our body systems are different, so we need to use living probiotics that help us because these work with our body. They don't work against our body. They work with our body. They work to create healthy environments. So let's talk about milk kefir grains, and kefir, just to get people who are still stuck on kefir. Milk kefir grains, they are live cultures. They create a lacto-fermented drink or yogurt. They contain good probiotics and good yeast, and they feed on milk sugar, which is called lactose. They are gluten-free, and they need lactose to survive. You can use the milk from mammals like cows, goats, sheep, buffalo, because they have lactose in. Examples of this would include raw milk, whole milk, 1 or 2%, non-fat milk, pasteurized milk, homogenized, non-homogenized, and powdered milk, okay? What you cannot use with this are plant milks because they do not have lactose. Also, do not use ultra pasteurized milk. They call it UHT because it's processed at 280 degrees Fahrenheit, and that kills the lactose. So how milk kefir grains work? The bacteria, the lactobacillus, consume the natural sugar in the milk, the lactose. They break it down, then their waste is lactic acid. That's the tanginess that you might taste. The yeast in the kefir grains consumes the lactose and releases CO2 and alcohols. The acetobacter feeds on the alcohol and the yeast and makes acetic acid. This process creates 3 layers of beneficial production: lactic acid, CO2 and alcohols, and acetic acid. Water kefir functions similarly, but without the lactose part of it. So water kefir, they are live cultures. They create a lacto-fermented beverage. They contain good probiotics and good yeast. They feed on sugar water, fruit juice, and coconut water. And they are gluten-free. They do not need lactose to survive, and they are a non-dairy alternative. So you can flavor them, make like little sodas out of them. It's just amazing how they bubble up on their own. In the beginning of the video, I think I showed you the bubbles coming up. That's the carbonation. So you can use, to make them, spring water or filtered water. You can use raw or regular sugar, unsulfured molasses, various fruits and you can use various fruits after the first fermentation to flavor it differently. The first one is the base, so you have to use just your molasses and the sugar. You cannot use, obviously, any milk products. So how water kefir grains work? The bacteria, lactobacillus, consume the natural sugar in the molasses and the fruits or sugar, and they create probiotic-rich kefir water. So they function similarly to how the milk kefir functions. Using higher quality ingredients will give you higher quality results. So remember that as you are trying to make milk kefir and water kefir or kefir. So let's talk about the benefits of milk kefir and water kefir. So milk kefir in 1 cup, just 1 cup, 300 to 500 billion CFUs of good probiotics and 30 to 100 species of beneficial yeasts. That is amazing. Dr. Mandel found that milk kefir may reduce flatulence, gastrointestinal issues, antibacterial, which means it may crush Salmonella, H. pylori, E. coli, may increase bone health, lower osteoporosis because it creates K2. You need K2 to help the calcium get into the bones, which helps prevent fractures. What I have studied and found out was that without the K2, the calcium does not get into the bones. So you're just taking it, and it's actually causing issues in your blood pressure and blood. So you need the K2 and the D3, obviously, to work together to get that calcium into the bones. And it also, he said, may help cancer since the kefir works to stop uncontrollable cell growth. That alone would have me drinking a cup every day, which I am. And so are my children. Helps digestion, irritable bowel syndrome, colitis, allergies, asthma, and skin issues. Now, my younger son dealt with allergies really bad to the point where it just takes him over. And since we've been using this, I have not seen that. So this is over the top. Dr. Berg found that milk kefir can lower cortisol, has B1, lactic acid, and beneficial microbes. And it helps with the creation of melatonin and serotonin. And then I found that registered dietitian Rochelle Godwin found that milk kefir is a probiotic powerhouse. And if she had to choose between milk or water kefir, she would choose milk kefir. And then water kefir. However, let's go to water kefir. Water kefir is more potent than yogurt. My gosh. 1 cup gives you 5 to 35 billion CFUs of good probiotics and 10 to 15 species of beneficial yeasts. It's only 10 to 20 calories per glass. The information that I found in the Natural Ways video says that water kefir aids in digestion, improves weight management, contains biotin and folate, inhibits the growth of predatory bacteria. It is antimicrobial because it has kefirine, which helps prevent candida overgrowth. That's massive because with the frequencies out here and all of our gadgets, everybody is growing candida at a rapid pace, which again equals disease. So both of these, I would just be, again, I can't tell you what to do, but for our family, this is a staple and stays. We will always have this. It helps heal skin and wounds, helps slow growth of out of control cells, which an example of that is cancer cells when they grow out of control. And it inhibits E. coli and Salmonella. So now you have a set of new information for your journey and your research into how milk and water kefir can help you and your family. This is critical. What I have found with these two ingredients is, and these two drinks. You can make them into yogurts. You can have them as like a, just like a shot. It depends on how thick you make them. You can flavor them, change them however you want to. The milk kefir, if you process them for 1 day, it's more liquid. If you process it for 3 days, then it's more like a yogurt. And then we throw some honey in or whatever. You don't have to do that, but we do that. So, and then on the water kefir, when you're done, you put it in another jar, put it in the refrigerator. You can flavor it. You can just drink it the way it is. So far right now, we're drinking it the way it is because we don't want to mess it up. We want to enjoy every benefit of this. And we have it first thing in the AM, but there are some cultures that say you can have it in the middle of the day. They drink it in the middle of the day to help themselves. So it just depends on how you do it. I know if I ate a big meal, sometimes what I do is I take a couple shots of the milk kefir so the bacteria can go in and help me digest it. So I do that sometimes. But you have to do your research. You have to decide if this works for you based on the information I just gave you and based on the information you go out and research and based on the information you go speak to your doctor about, because you already know I'm my own doctor, so I figure out what my body needs. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do after I did days of research, just to add to the knowledge I already have, please do me a favor. Please hit the like button if you have not so far. Please subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. And now I'm going to cut to the video where I am doing a live demonstration of these products. Okay, guys, we're going to get started on making these different kefirs. The actual pronouncement is kefir, but people mostly say kefir. This is the water kefir, and then this is the milk kefir, okay? And this part of the video is about how to make it, because you'll be listening, or you have already listened to another part that shows you what it's about, how to use it, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to try to set this up here and do my best in teaching you how I make my water kefir and milk kefir. So let's start with water first. Okay, let's see that you can see this. All right, so this is some leftover water kefir that is in this glass here. And I wanted to empty a jar that I have here so that I can fill it as I'm showing you. So let me pull this over here. Okay, so here is how we brew it. You put the water kefir grains, you can see them down there, in the jar. And I'm actually going to try to make a batch of this in front of you. And then you let it sit. It depends on, how warm it is in your house or how cool it is in your house. You let it sit 4 to 5 days. Sometimes for some people, if it's hot, then 3 days, and then it brews. So as I think I showed you in another video, look, see the bubbles? That's the kefir that's growing in there and producing all the good bacteria that your body needs. Look at that. That's awesome. Okay, and it kind of tastes like a little soda. So I'm going to start. Let me pop this off. Okay, so you can see that, right? Now here it is like that. Okay, so what I typically do is I take a strainer, and then you can do it many different ways, but what I like to do, these jars are taller than my camera. I'll strain this into a jar. So what I'm going to do to show you, because it seems like that's too high, I'm going to strain it into this bowl so you can kind of see that. You see that? Okay. And then if I can get close, you can see one of the little kefir grains. See it? They grow and they feed and they get bigger and bigger, and soon you'll have so many you'll have to split it and make a second jar. But you strain it. Now you can see them. See them in here? Okay, that's the water kefir. Strain them. See that little bit left? Then you put what you have left back in the jar. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here, let it sit. And then what you need to do is, because this is not normally how I do it. I just wanted to show you my camera is not at the right position because I don't have a stand yet. So then you still have this left in your jar. And what you want to do is add a tiny bit more. So you have about, I don't know, about 1.5 inches of leftover juice in there. So that way that helps brew the next batch. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the sink real quick. Pour a little bit in here so I don't make a mess. Okay. So now I have enough to make another batch. So then what you do, and what I usually do is when it brews, it produces like a little bit of a leftover from the syrup and everything on top. So I usually take a paper towel and then I just wipe it just for aesthetic purposes. You don't have to, but I just do that. And then now it's ready to brew another batch. So let me get another batch going here. So I need a tablespoon, okay? And then I need sugar. So here is the sugar. 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of sugar. Now you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's so much sugar. But by the time you drink it, there's like no sugar in there because they literally digest it all. So we're feeding them now, okay? And then I'm going to bring up unsulfured black strap molasses, okay? What this does is, again, this is another ingredient that feeds them. Okay, so they can produce the good bacteria that you want in your gut. So here we go. Let me move over here so you can see it. Hold on. Can you see that? Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to pour it in. You see it kind of going in there. Okay, and then I kind of scrape it out my finger and then eat it, of course. Lid back on. Now we're ready to add the water. Okay, so I'm going to throw this to the side here. And I'm going to take spring water and fill this jar to about 1 inch. You see that? So I'm filling it up. There it is. Plenty of room for them to grow and do their thing. And then what I like to do is give it a little stir. So I have like kind of these wooden stirs. Just something natural, not metal. I mean, you can do it, but I don't. So I stir it up. Now they're all ready. They realize, hey, there's fresh food here. So now they're going to get to work. And then I'm going to, again, for aesthetics purposes, just wipe this off. And then what you do is you put your cover on and it's ready to go. Here's the cover, right? The coffee filter. And you put it on. And then you just put a rubber band around so nothing gets in it. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. So you put a rubber band around so nothing gets in it. And then what I usually do is I put the date on that I did it, and then the date that I think it should be done. For me, it's been cold here in PA, so it's like, I don't know, like 5 days. I'm going to move this over to the stove because it's good to sit in a warm place. So now you have another brew ready 5 days from now. So I'm going to set this over here. Okay. And this is what we drink, this. Okay. So let me go ahead, move things out of the way and get started for the next batch. This one is a little more difficult as far as trying to show you on camera. Let me start with this. So first, I'm going to start with how we eat the milk kefir. Okay. And you can do it many different ways. If you leave it in longer, then what it does is it turns into like a Greek yogurt. You see that? Okay, the milk kefir. But if you do it real fast, and don't put it in the fridge or anything, then sometimes it's liquidy, which you can do. You can just drink it like a liquid every day. But we like ours like a yogurt, so we try to brew it longer in warm temperatures, meaning because if you brew it, in the refrigerator, after a day or two, you'll slow it down and it still may become liquidy. So you just have to kind of find your method that works. So what I'm looking for now is this is my bowl that I'm going to use. Here's the honey that I'm going to use. And then I need a spoon that I have here. Okay, so what I do is I take a scoop or, a couple of scoops of this as my daily nutrients. I put these guys in my body before I eat anything or, before I drink anything, unless I'm doing some kind of detox or something like that. Okay, so that's my little serving. Lid back on. Get that out of the way. And then take some honey. You can use any kind of honey you want. Or, you don't have to use anything. I've gotten so good I can actually eat this without anything because it's kind of bitter, which is good. Bitters are usually good for the body. Okay? Creatures love sugar, not bitters. And then there is your milk kefir serving. So you get your little spoon in there and get a dip and you're good to go. So, that's good. I'm trying to set this over here without causing a problem. Okay, now, these are the brews that I did this past week. Okay, so what you're going to see here is it's separating. You can see the liquid gold that athletes and everybody, they pay a lot of money to get. And even some of the whey protein that you guys have like in certain shakes, this is what it is. Right there. See that? That is gold. What I should do, I'm going to go grab a pint of that and show it to you. Hang on one second. Grab a pint of this. Okay. This is a pint of that. Look at that. Liquid gold. Whey protein from raw milk. This is so good for you. You can use this in cooking, replacing any water recipes. Sometimes I'll take a little bit and just add it to something that I'm drinking just so that I can get this. Okay, so I'll set that aside. Try to go fast so I don't leave this stuff out long. I got the milk. Okay, so next we are going to strain this out. So we'll put one out of the way. Now this can be easy, it can be fast, sometimes it can be messy because it depends on how your brew went. So here we go again. Remember this thing, we take off the cap, the coffee filter. Okay, then I'm going to get the strainer, and you can use any kind of strainer that you want, usually something that's kind of fine that you can get things out. Now, for me, what I like to do is, you see that whey down in here? What I like to do is I like to try to get some of that out so I don't have a liquid type, jar of food to eat. Some people like the liquid kind, so I'm going to attempt, let me push this back a little bit, see if you can see it. I'm going to try to push this down in here. See how I'm going down in to pop the liquid. so that it comes out first. So I'm going to try to get that out. If I get a good bit of it out, then I will put that aside. So let me get that out. And you can just drink it. You don't have to strain it like I'm doing. But I do this because I like mine to be more like a yogurt instead of like a drink. But you can do both. So I'm taking some of this out if I can. Because like I said, each time it turns out different. Okay. I got some of it out there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this excess and put it aside. Okay. Now, this part is when you're going to see the milk kefir grains. Okay. So here they come. Whoop. See them? My gosh, they're growing again. So this, let me pull this up closer. These are the milk kefir grains, okay? And then what you do is you push them down through so that you can get all of the good yogurt, all of the good kefir that they created for you. So we make ours like a yogurt, but the kefir is like a drink. Let me pull this back. Okay, so I'm dipping that out, pushing it through. When I get some in here, I'm going to show you what it looks like. And then when I get this kind of wiped off, then I push it to the side and I do another batch. I dump some more in. So here I go. Dumping some more in and doing it again. Okay, so you kind of see what I'm doing there. All right. So this is how you strain your milk kefir to get all the good lactobacillus and all the other good ingredients that these kefir grains have created for you. And we drink this every single day. As long as we can get to the milk, we drink it every single day. And I make it, once a week, sometimes, twice, depending on how the days overlap. Okay, so now I'm going to scrape some of this off the bottom, and then I'm going to show you what's in here. See that? Oh gosh, I spilled. See that? See all of that good milk kefir in there? Okay, and you can make it thick like a yogurt. You can do it different ways. So this is how you make it. How you strain it. And then I'm going to put this to the side and bring in a jar. So I have an empty jar here. What I'm going to do is show you what I do with the kefir grains. Okay, so when I'm done straining the jar of everything that I want out of it, then I come over carefully. Let me pull this back so you can see it. Carefully put these back in a new jar. So you see this new jar? See them in there? Okay, so this is a new jar. And then fill it. So let me move as fast as I can. Here we go, here we go. We're filling it. And then once you get it filled, then this is where, again, aesthetic reasons, I kind of wipe it off. But this is what it looks like. It looks like almost like cottage cheese. Okay? So then that's when you take your milk and fill the jar. So let me get the rest of these grains real quick out of here. And then I will do that part for you. But I don't want to lose any of my grains for doing a video. Okay, so here we go. Here they come. The rest of them are out. Because each time you brew this, these grains are growing. So you're going to end up having a batch that you can share with a friend. You can give them 2 tablespoons because that's usually what you need to start another batch for somebody. So that's what I did with my family. I gave them 2 tablespoons. And now it looks like I'm about to have to do it again because these are fully. Oh my gosh. They're growing so fast. And what I found is as I am eating and drinking this, things are changing in my body. Like my nails are growing stronger. And again, that is with consistent use. That is with, using good high quality milks with your kefir. And I used to have a problem trying to drink milk. And I don't know what they did to it because I used to drink it when I was younger, but when I got older, I had a problem. I don't. I can drink milk now without a problem. And that's raw milk that I can drink without a problem. I have not gone back to pasteurized because I don't see a need. But again, everybody does what they need to do. I'm just showing you what we do. You decide whether raw is good for you or you decide whether pasteurized is good for you. Okay? Because that is, we do our risk, you do your risk. Okay, so that's done. And now I can fill this. So let me slide this back. Do you see that? I'm pulling out the milk. Here we go. Okay. And then I'm going to shake it up and pour the milk in here. Here we go. Okay, so I'm pouring it about 2 inches for the milk that I do. Okay, can you see that? And then aesthetic purposes again, I'm just trying to push things down in because I just like it that way. And now, here we go again. Look what happens. Get your little hat back out. Put it on again. Wrap it around. And now you have another batch brewing. And what I also do, because I sit it on the counter, try to slide back and make more room here. I take foil and I wrap it around the bottom. And that just helps keep some of the light out because they tell you to, put it in a dark place, but you can sit it on your counter as well. I just do the extra because I'm like that. And then you write your date again. And for me, it takes about 3 days on the counter before it starts to do this. Okay, you see the separation. This is another batch. You can do it in 1 day and it's ready the next day. But I like mine to get thick. The longer you leave it out, the thicker. So 3 days on the counter for me. And then if I want to stop it from processing, I put it in the refrigerator and I can leave it in there for 3 or 4 more days. And then I can come back out and strain it just like normal and start a new batch. Cold slows it down. So that's giving you that heads up. But again, this is just showing you how we do it. You're going to need to do some videos if you're going to start doing this. But this is how we do it. And I can do a deep dive. But this is how we do it so you understand how the process works. And then everything that I poured in that bowl, this is the one that's done. Okay. Oh, left that there. Okay, so when you're done, then you can take an empty jar and just put it in. Like, here's a sample of one. And this stays in the fridge. Okay, so that's how you make your water kefir and your milk kefir. And I think I covered everything. There's here's the whey protein again that comes off of it. And then here's what it looks like when it's ready to be strained. So that's milk kefir. Earlier I did water kefir. And so now you have your ammunition to get your body and your gut right, feeding it the right ingredients to help it as we go through January. So let's move on. Thank you guys for coming. And I hope to see you again as we get ready to teach into different kinds of drinks and hot tips to help you through the rest of January. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good day. Okay, guys, now you've seen that amazing demonstration. I did my best with the space that I have and showed you exactly what we do and how we do it. So now you have ammunition to help yourselves to get your gut straightened out and to clean that out. As long as you're following, going through all the things that I've been teaching in January, and then checking with your doctor, looking at what you need and what you don't need. But you have two powerhouses that most people don't have, I'm telling you. So go ahead, check it out, do your research. And what we're going to do coming up next for Monday is we're going to talk about your relationship and your routine with food. I have a lot of tips on food. So stay tuned. If you need life help, go back and watch the 31 Life Shortcuts over the holidays, because I have given a tremendous amount of tips that are in addition to holiday tips. There's so many golden nuggets in there. So guys, this is it. These are it. Look at these guys bubbling. Oh my gosh. So I will see you again soon. I hope you learned a lot. Take it and go do your research. Have a great day. Thanks for coming. Like, share, subscribe.